people see Sea of Thieves as an online pirate adventure game where you can plunder the seas, muck around with your friends and fight for glory in some amazing player versus player experiences, which of course it is. But what many people don't see are the secrets, the lore, the stories and the mystery behind this beautiful world. In this series I'll be taking a deeper look into the interesting characters that call the Sea of Thieves home, and uncover what mysteries they might be hiding. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sea of Thieves Untold Stories. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video and the very first episode of my Sea of Thieves lore series, Untold Stories. Now, as many of you know, Forsaken Shores came to the Sea of Thieves last year with a story campaign that followed what happened to this woman's crew. Now, she can be found in the Devil's Roar at Morrow's Peak Outpost, and her name is Captain Morrow, or Grace, as she's currently called if you go and talk to her in the game. Now, Captain Morrow here was the leader of a group called the Forsaken Shores Alliance, and this alliance possessed a magical figurehead that had the power to part the shroud, which, if you didn't know, is the dangerous mist that surrounds the map that stops ships from sailing in or out of the Sea of Thieves. Now, the alliance ship was called the Shroud Breaker. It can also be found at Morrow's Peak Outpost in pieces as it was shattered by a storm some time ago. Here's where things get interesting. In recent footage released by Rare, as well as the Tall Tales trailer, we see this right here, a mystical ancient artifact, also called the Shroud Breaker, that holds the power to break the shroud. This brings up many questions, as the Shroud Breaker figurehead used by Captain Morrow and her crew was said to be destroyed, shattered into many pieces that spread across the Devil's Roar, revealing the land, and is the reason why us pirates can sail in the Devil's Roar today. So it couldn't be this same Shroud Breaker we see in the Tall Tales trailer, could it? Maybe there are multiple Shroud Breakers. Maybe someone possesses multiple Shroud Breakers. Or maybe it is the same Shroud Breaker, and the original one was never truly destroyed. But we'll get back to all that in just a minute. Going back to Grace and her crew, when they first discovered the Devil's Roar, they explored the lands for months, searching for hidden treasures, and eventually they found this, a box of Wanderer's secrets. Now, there's still a lot of mystery behind the box of Wanderer's secrets, but it is said to have the power to create or break any curse. Those in its possession would be tainted by its power and would end up warping the minds of the crew. And Jim here was the first to succumb to this curse, as he was the only member of the Alliance to peek inside the box, and what he saw could not be put into words. Now, Grace Morrow started to notice some kind of dark change in Jim, and was worried about her crew's safety, so she banished Jim from the Alliance and sent him on his way on a rowboat. However, Jim ended up making his way back to the Alliance under new orders from a secret friend. He then murdered the members of the Alliance, all in different ways, and poisoned Captain Morrow, which explains the purple stuff on her face. Ever heard of a tissue? I mean, come on, it's disgusting. But Morrow was made of some tough stuff and survived the attempted murder by Jim. She chased him out of the Devil's Roar, but with no crew to help her on her ship, the Shroud Breaker, the ship was lost in a storm and wrecked at Morrow's Peak Outpost, like I mentioned earlier. Now, the curse of the box of Wanderer's secrets did eventually get a hold of Captain Morrow too, but it seems to have just driven her insane rather than evil. In her journals dotted around the Devil's Roar, she tells stories of a large megalodon called Redmaw, a giant crab monster that she defeated called Lord Pinch, that was followed by an army of crabs. She tells tales of the ferryman's arrival in the Devil's Roar and states that she spent a lot of time with him and that he enjoyed her company. She also mentions the Pirate Lord and remembering when he was still alive and not the ghostly figure he is today. The last thing she mentioned was a group of evil merfolk that were going to kill her, but she ended up marrying the merfolk prince and they all became friendly? Wait, what? What the f***? Could any of these stories actually be true? Or are they just proof of the Box of Wondrous Secrets' effect on her mind, and she truly is insane? She's probably held more than one of these boxes, because if you find one of these rare treasures in the game, she's the person you sell them to. As for Jim, he escaped Grace and could be found at Liar's Backbone for some time after the Forsaken Shores campaign, but has since vanished. Something very interesting about Jim here, is seen in the Forsaken Shores trailer, is that he has the Gold Hoarder's symbol tattooed on his hand. Remember I mentioned earlier that Jim was ordered by someone to kill the members of his old crew? Someone who may have gifted the Shroudbreaker to his crew? Maybe a certain Gold Hoarder? It turns out that Jim's secret friend was in fact the original Gold Hoarder, who is a skeleton lord so filled with greed that it keeps him alive. He obviously has uses for the Box of Wondrous Secrets, but what exactly are they? Now, to be totally honest with you guys, this video raises more questions rather than answers, but with statements like this from the devs...
What's cool about the Shroudbreaker is we actually seeded the lore very loosely in Forsaken Shores. It's no mistake that the ship that Grace Morrow sailed in, that's crashed on Morrow's Peak outpost in Devil's Roar, is called the Shroudbreaker. And the lore in Forsaken Shores last year referred to the idea of this magical figurehead, and the Shroudbreaker artifact that you'll come across in Tall Tales that you see in the trailer, that's really the key behind it.
I strongly believe that many answers are coming with Tall Tales Shores of Gold, and this brand new lore series, Untold Stories, will discover them all. If you enjoy the lore of Sea of Thieves as much as I do, then I recommend that you subscribe and even hit that bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Tall Tales and everything else coming in the anniversary update will be live in just 12 hours of me recording this video. So that's very exciting. I cannot wait to start making videos on all the new content coming in the game. I'll have a guide on fishing and cooking out within the first 24 hours of the update dropping, as well as a video showing off where all the Tall Tales books are the day after. Now, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to drop a like and leave a comment down below on your thoughts on the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.